My pain was in the depths of my muscles. I couldn't grip my steering wheel. Like, I couldn't grip things. I could barely walk. I was like just moving my legs certain ways. It caused a lot of pain. Really was kind of a bit of a spiral when all this stuff happened to my body. So quality of life was very low. I would say probably like a 2. It felt like everything sucked. I felt embarrassed to say, oh, I can't because my calf hurts. Like, I can't to a lot of things, which really sucked. Now, I do feel like my body is a lot better. I am able to drive. I've been driving 45 minutes to and from work each day, which is a long drive for me compared to before. So quality of life is a lot better. I can do more. I'm not as worried that I'm going to be hobbling around or going to have to sit this one out. And if I'm sore, I'll do some stretches.
So much more mobility and more endurance.
Yeah, it was a different kind of pain. So I was used to workout pain, like, oh, this workout was so good, I'm in pain now, but it's awesome because it worked. It was not like that at all. Whereas now my pain is back to the like, oh, that was a good workout.
Since the Colombia trip, it's been about 7 months.
It honestly almost feels like 2 years ago.
A lot has happened, right?
A lot has happened.
Okay, yeah.
Before I got the stem cells, reason I got them was because I had, as you already know, a lot of issues with my muscles. So I decided...
Were you diagnosed like with fibromyalgia?
I was
what
not
it called?
diagnosed.
Okay.
Although doctors said like it most resembles fibromyalgia, but they didn't actually diagnose me.
So undiagnosed illness, they couldn't figure it out.
Yes, exactly. That's why I wanted to do the stems, is I had already been doing other things to try to help. And yeah, there were noticeable differences here and there. It was up and down. It was kind of unpredictable. And with the stems, I was hopeful that it would be more of a long-term fix or I guess addition to everything that I was doing.
So it's been about 7 months since you got the stem cells. Tell us about anything in your life that's changed, physical, personal, spiritual, emotional, anything.
I definitely feel like I've done a lot more. Life has been super busy. So life went from I have nothing going on to now all these things are going on.
Good things?
So, yeah, all good things. But I wasn't used to being busy. Even just social calendar was filling up, and that's a lot of driving, which for me is, I'm like, oh shoot, am I going to be okay? But I did well. I was driving a lot more. Long drives too, not just 5 minutes here and there. Was driving, doing 30-minute to an hour drives to and from places, which I haven't done in a long time.
And less fatigue?
Yeah, less fatigue. So, and so walking around more, going to the park more frequently. I like to go to the local park and just do some laps around there. I got a house, so
amazing.
I swapped out my workouts for working on the house because I would be sweating. I worked on the house the entire time I was looking for a job, but also was only kind of looking for a job because I wanted to work on the house for so long.
Wait, so I'm imagining you like on ladders, painting stuff and
Yes.
fixing stuff, like heavy physical activity here.
Yes,
And
climbing up and down ladders, scraping things on the wall, doing the caulking,
Wow.
sanding all the walls, sanding all the trim, like,
And you're fine.
yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, I probably overdid it a couple times, so,
Right.
which I think to any average person would be, my hands are cramping after I've been just like scrubbing away. But I think I did really well. I was actually pretty surprised. So
Some big life changes.
yeah, a lot of physical activity, a lot of movement, more movement than I had been used to. I would say quality of life was very low before, simply because I had to plan my days out. Like, if I wanted to go do something, I needed to make sure, if I had a 20-minute drive, 30-minute drive to go do something with a friend who maybe lived in Huntington Beach and I wanted to go there, I needed to make sure that whole week that I didn't walk around too much, that I didn't drive too much, even going to and from the store. I had to do rounds to where it's like, okay, I can only go in this direction and I can only go in places that are in that direction and on the way back, to make sure I was physically able to go do certain things. And even sometimes when I would do that, I remember I had made plans with one of my girlfriends, and I told her like, oh, I'll head to you right after I'm done with that. Well, that drive that morning, and whatever I had done that week made it so my legs were shaking to where I was like, you know what, I can't drive to you. Literally, when in a matter of like an hour, 2 hours, I was like, I thought this morning that I could do it, but after driving, now I'm sorry, but I can't. I had to bail on her, and I felt so bad because I really wanted to hang out with her. She had just moved into a new house, and I was excited to see her, and I had to cancel my plans, which, you know, it kind of sucks. Even when my friends would want to go on hikes, they'd be like, yeah, I want to go on this hike. Do you want to go? And I'd be like, ugh, I can't really commit to that because I don't know how I'm going to feel that day. Like, if you can be open and flexible to like what we're going to do and how long we're going to do it, then yes, I can make the plan with you ahead of time. But if this is your goal, is like, I want to do this hike, it has to be this hike, then I can't commit to it because I don't know how I'm going to feel. It could change in a matter of an hour. And not that I don't want to do it. Like, I've always been physical. I love physical activities. I used to hike, I used to bike, rollerblade, lift heavy weights, and anything physical, you name it, I was down for it. And it was actually a huge life change for me because I started noticing these things happening with my body to where I actually went through a bit of a depression because I'm like, I don't know what to do with my life if I can't do these physical activities that are fun for me. So it was a big life change. It was almost like an ego check too, because I was very much into the physical side of everything. Like, I want to be super thin and have muscle and like look really good. And I wasn't able to do all those things after all the stuff was happening with my muscles. So of course I was down on myself because that's how I felt my worth, was like how much I did and what I would do with people and how I looked and all of that. So it really was kind of a bit of a spiral when all this stuff happened to my body. So quality of life was very low. I would say probably like a 2. It felt like everything sucked. I felt embarrassed to say, oh, I can't because my calf hurts. Like, I can't do a lot of things, which really sucked. Now I do feel like my body is a lot better. I am able to drive. I've been driving 45 minutes to and from work each day, which is a long drive for me compared to before. So quality of life is a lot better. I can do more. I'm not as worried that I'm going to be hobbling around or going to have to sit this one out. And if I'm sore, I'll do some stretches.
Much more mobility and more endurance.
Yeah.
We put you with one of our trainers, Lucas. How was that?
Oh, it was awesome. I really liked him because when I used to work out, I was a go, push myself as hard as I could, and I didn't know how to do anything other than that. And when I told him I hadn't worked out in a while. My workout has been working on my house. I would tell him like, oh, this is what I've been doing. I'm a little sore from that and I'm a little tight. So he would work with me on what I needed in that moment, because he would create a set of workouts, and sometimes we would go along with the workouts and other times he'd pivot a little and shape it to what I needed that day, which I really liked, because most of the trainers that I've worked with in the past, they're like, no, do it, they're more like
pushing you.
Yeah, so I really liked his flexibility and him being understanding of my current circumstances. But also, I liked that he was like, can you do more? Like, he would ask me, and he would work with me with that.
Make sure you don't get injured, but also make sure you're maximizing.
Exactly. So I really enjoyed.
Yeah, you look happy.
I am. Things are oddly coming together. And
So you were at a 2.
Yeah.
What would you say these days?
I would say I'll say maybe I'm being underscoring it, but I'll say 7, because I feel like I have a lot more I can and want to do. I want to start doing my workouts, and I'm getting used to waking up early for work. I used to work remote and now I go into the office, so I'm adjusting, but I want to start doing my workouts again, and I really would like to start rollerblading. I used to rollerblade all the time.
Ooh.
So I think once I'm able to pick things up there, I'd probably be back to.
I would love to see you on rollerblades. I just had a visual.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. We gotta film that when that happens.
Oh my gosh. We'll We'll have a boardwalk trip.
Yeah. You know, I really felt Kim's story because, you know, we went through something similar. We were both suffering from something. I've always been trying to figure out solutions too. When I finally came to the stem cell game, you know, Kim believed in me because she saw me and she saw me get better. And so she took the leap of faith, and it was, a lot of it too has to do with belief. Like if you believe you could become something or do something, it's gonna happen. We're gonna manifest it. And a lot of times it's a mix of physical, for sure. We need these stems, we need these medicines, you know, to grow back the cells, to make our gut lining grow back. But at the same time, there's an emotional element and spiritual element where if you believe and you fight to find an answer, not only are you gonna have the most amazing experience of your life, because we're going into the unknown all the time. People are scared of Colombia sometimes because they're like, I don't know, we're going to a new country, but Kim is down. She's like, let's go, let's experience this, let's find the answer, let's work on these adventures together. And there's so much joy in that. And you know it's working because it makes you feel better. And that's how I gauge a lot of things. Do you feel like a millimeter better today? Do you feel 10 millimeters better today? And if the answer is yes, then you keep doing it. You can make that hike without running out of breath. Or you can lift that weight without dropping it. And that has to do with everything in life. And I'm so grateful for you, and also Jared, because you guys were just down to co-create and experience that with me. You know, and I know it's been 7 months since we did it. But I feel like there's so much exciting news happening. You know, like I heard that you guys are also engaged, which is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. You heard?
Yeah.
Did you hear?
Yeah, I got a text with a picture of a ring. So I was like, what? So love heals a lot of things too.
Yes.
You know, when you love yourself, you learn to love yourself, and others, like you start taking care of yourself. And you fight to live. You're like, okay, I'm gonna eat right. I'm gonna work out better. I'm gonna take better care of myself, and I'm gonna give myself the medicine that I need to get better every day. And you know, I feel like the stem cells are like a baseline. Like we get brand new baby cells in our body. What are we gonna do with them? We have about a year to turn them and ourselves and our lives around into whatever we want. And I think when people make that investment, they're going to invest more in themselves than feeling trapped or doing the same routine or feeling helpless or being the victim. Which is a lot of people that are sick. Like we were, it's easy to play that game too. Just stay there and be like, okay, there's nothing I could do. But oftentimes, if you just have one person or 10 people even come to you and be like, hey, let's try this. Maybe this will work. Maybe I could take you with me somewhere. Then there's that faith, there's that hope that we can become better. And I remember when we first met, like we were both pretty messed up. And like, I feel like so much has happened in our lives now that like we're kind of living our wildest dreams. You know, like we've had adventures and we own homes and like we have significant others that we love and life is amazing now. You know what I mean? Yeah. We manifested all of it.
Life is coming together. I feel like it's always coming together. It's always working for us, even when it doesn't seem like it. But I mean, when you told me about the stem cells, I was like, you're crazy. That's so much money. And I wanted to try something. I'm not really, because I had gone to the doctor so many times, I just was kind of dealing with it and living with it for a while. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to pay doctors to tell me they don't know anything. So I'd rather just save money and go do it, because you hear about people who are sick and they spend all kinds of money getting poked and blood drawn and all these things, and they never find a solution, and that's through Western medicine. So I'm like, well, I might as well just save the money and put it towards something where it worked for you, so why not? Let's see if it works for me.
You know, if you have a final shout out to anyone who's on the fence, final shout out to Human Wellness Centers also. I don't think we've even heard Human Wellness Centers yet. So,
oh yeah.
And the doctors and
oh my gosh, so you just reminded me of something that happened right after the stems. So we're in the parking lot at the store. It's when I wasn't feeling good, and you all went in to get electrolytes. We made a stop that we weren't not expecting to do, and so you stopped specifically for me. And I just remember while everybody was in the store, I was in the car, I think by myself, and I just was overwhelmed with emotions, and I just started crying, like bawling. And it was because of how warm everybody was and how caring everyone was, and like they just completely stopped what they were doing to help me and ensure like I was good. And I just felt the love that it just like really got to me, and I was so emotional. And you guys saw me, or someone, I think it was Jacobo, and he looks at me like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just really emotional right now." So that was kind of a weird piece that happened, which I did not expect after the stems.
No, that's so beautiful that you experienced that you know, because they're really, because you guys are so gracious too. You're like the best clients. Like we want the clients, you know, we want them to have the best experience possible. And it's true, like the team in Colombia, like they wait on you hand and foot. They want to make sure you're safe. They want to make sure you're picked up. They want to make sure you're having a good time. They want to make sure that you're okay all the time. And like, you know, for you to acknowledge that, I'm sure Jacob and Fede and the doctors there and everybody are they're gonna cry when they hear that.
I definitely, yeah. I was overwhelmed, and it was all happy and joy and like, wow, I can't believe I'm here right now with all these people who are just so awesome and loving, and you could just feel it. So
2 cents to anyone who might be on the fence.
So I'm a very cautious spender. And I think that if you're on the fence and you're not quite sure what to do, what you want to do, start saving your money, for one, because eventually you're going to want to do something about it, whether it's stems or something else. So just have a savings and start setting aside money and do your research, look into it, talk to the team, see if there's similar stories to yours, because that's kind of how if I can relate to somebody and see that, oh, this worked for them, like maybe it could work for me, then I'm more inclined to push myself to go get that done. So I think save your money, prepare for it, make it a fun trip, because I think that helps. Like, let's make it a vacation and treatment. Rather than just go and get something done, which the team did an awesome job at making the whole trip fun. But I would say go for it. Like, what do you have to lose? You get extra stems. There's nothing bad that's going to come out of it. So why not?